Welcome back to DeHaven Family Farm. Thanks so much for joining me for tonight's video. What we're going to be doing here is I got a fence line here all along through here, around the corner, up the hill, all the way to the top and around. I started fixing fence today, and some areas the brush and overgrowth gets so thick I can't even get to the fence. So I had planned on sort of trimming this some this fall, but it's really just gotten overgrown here this spring. So this spot here isn't too bad, but we'll buzz along here and we'll start hitting some of this bigger stuff, and we'll go as long as the battery holds out or before it gets dark. So what we're going to be using tonight, not the puppy dog. We got the Mini with the brush cutter head on it. Should work quite well for this. There is a little ditch here. There's some gravel in this ditch, but once we get around the corner and go up and over, the ditch does not have any gravel in it. So we're kind of going to be working on, there's a bit of a slope here, kind of a rounded edge and then a flat spot on top. So it's not something like the fence is elevated from where, you know, we'd be driving down there. So it's not something that you can easily do with like a tractor and a brush cutter. Because of that height difference and because of the ditch that runs all the way around up there. So we're lucky enough to have this machine, and I have this brush cutter for it, so we're gonna put it to work now. So as we're gonna get this started, we need to click our auxiliary button here. There we go. That little weird emblem means brush cutter. I don't know why, but it does. So now we're set to go. All right, we'll get that going. I'll see if I can find you guys a spot to make sure you can see everything. And of course, I'll put the camera out after too. Now this is just a 36-inch brush cutter for the Mini. This is not a huge mini excavator. I think the other size that was available was a 42. And when you're sitting on level ground, like, that's fine, but I did a job with this smaller brush cutter. It was really steep. I think I did a video or a couple clips of a video on it, and I had to have the machine pointed downhill, like with the blade in front of me. And even then I was tipping, like, it was steep. I had my seatbelt on, so having a bigger brush cutting head on there is not really something I want to do. Like I said, in flat areas it's fine, you know, stuff like this you'd be okay, but you get into real steep ground, and that ends up being kind of a lot of weight sort of hanging off the front. This is the first time I've used this cutter this year, so I got to get my groove back on exactly how to use it. Can you guys see what we're doing down there? Yeah, okay. Make sure I don't take out the fence. The fence that we're working around here is an 8-foot tall deer fence, and it works pretty good to keep the deer out. Once in a while we have one that sneaks in a gate accidentally somehow finds their way in and we have to chase them back out. But overall, the fence has done a great job keeping the deer out so they don't eat whatever we're growing. Which, pumpkins, they do a lot of damage to pumpkins. Alright, now, this next section, some of this is actually grown in from the other side of the fence. So I I'm not exactly sure how to tackle it. Because like I said, I don't want to take out the fence. But I can't see the fence either. I don't even know where it is. Starting to find it. I just don't want to get into the mesh of the fence or a fence post. Well, we're making some progress here. Some of these are so intertwined. Like here's part of the fence and the trees behind it. Same thing with that one, so I have to come through by hand and get those. And this is pushing the limits of what the cutter will do, but at least I was able to kind of smash it a little bit. Same thing over here. That whole tree is like half on the other side of the fence, half on this side of the fence. And you know, again, some of this stuff is just pushing the limits. This is not meant to be a forestry mulcher type cutter. It's really just a brush cutter. It's only supposed to be doing things up to 2 inches. That's why I kind of just top those, and I'll come through with the chainsaw and just nip them down quick. But now we got all the smaller stuff. We should be able to do a pretty good job of knocking that out. All right, we finished down there pretty good. There's some trees I have to cut with a chainsaw, some little trimming along the edge there, some little stubbies that I can do with the other brush cutter. So now we've got this mess ahead of us, and then I know the camera doesn't show grade, but that goes up a pretty steep hill to there, and then we keep going on all the way on up. So I'm gonna keep at it. The ditch here on the steep hill that it did not used to be this deep. It started off as a foot or so, foot and a half deep, and the amount of water that has come down in the ditch has been very surprising to me. I put the ditches in probably 10 years ago or so. And we've had a couple of big rains shortly after the ditches went in, and if I jump down in that hole, you can barely see my head. That's how deep that got washed. It's very hard to fix fence or do anything on the other side because it's such a big gully. I need to take some of my stones from rock picking the fields and start dumping it in there, so that I can fill it back in. I got the blade facing down the hill, so I was able to kind of hold myself up a little bit with it. I actually had something come and hit the window, like hard. That's the first time since I've gotten this brush cutter, last couple years, that something has ever flown at the window. Well, making progress. I'll try and keep filming bits and pieces for you guys. The camera battery's about dead, so I'm just trying to film certain things. Got a huge one here we're working on now, getting ready to start. I see a tree in there, so we gotta watch what we're doing. And of course the fence is in there somewhere too. I think it's back a little ways though. Can't even see the cutter in there. Oh, there's the fence. Yikes. I came close to hitting the top of a post. I think this bush has pulled the fence over some towards us. Yikes. All right, I gotta finish this clip on my phone here. I'm quitting for the night. We got all this done here. The battery died back there. There was a huge thorn bush on both sides of the fence I was trying to grab. We did all up along in here. You can still see stuff there. That's actually on the other side of the fence. So I'm not really concerned about that. And then we went all down this side, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, drop down over the hill, and all the way the heck over there. So that's what we did tonight. We got most of it done. There's some trees here and there that I'm actually going to rip out with the thumb and then just carry them off. So, but we accomplished what we needed to accomplish, and now it'll be easier to get in there and finish fixing the rest of the fence. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate everybody watching. Questions, comments down below. I greatly appreciate those comments. If you don't know what to say, just say hey, say hi, whatever. I appreciate reading them. Thanks everybody for watching. Sure hope to see you guys on the next video.